When I was 16, I went through a phase of wanting to become a mother. And I was telling all of my friends at school that I want to just be a young mom. I feel like having a child will give me purpose and that I was missing something. And if any of y'all are feeling the same way, I just want to hand out some verbal birth control. This is what they don't tell you about motherhood or being a teen mom or becoming a mom young. This is what they don't tell you. Yeah, if you already don't look.
Um, Let me just stop the video right there real quick. She says this is what they don't tell you. And I hear this a lot on social media, and maybe I'm guilty of it, but I try to remember there's nothing new under the sun. And a lot of times when I'm hearing people say this is what they don't tell you, oh, someone has told you or someone has mentioned it, you've just ignored it, or you thought like, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with me. My life will be different. So I'm sure in some way, shape, or form, most young girls hear about the challenges of motherhood. You may not hear all the details, but you've heard it. You've heard something, even to the extent like, hey, this is not something that you do alone. This is not something you should just be reckless about. And I just feel like I had to just stop it there and speak to that, because a lot of times I'm hearing people say that in their videos, like, this is what they don't tell you. No, we've heard it. Just say you ain't listening. Just say this is what we're not listening to. Let me let her finish.
After yourself, do the basic skincare and whatnot, you're gonna mess up a child, a human. They're gonna have the skin ailments and the issues. And you. So now you got two double antibiotics. Money doesn't grow on trees. So I don't know where we think the money's gonna come from, but we'd be like, oh, we have so much support, everybody's gonna send us. Oh yeah, are they gonna send you the $637 every 2 weeks so that your child can go to daycare? I currently spend over $1,300 a month just so that my child can go to a good daycare in my city. Why? Because if you tour any of these daycares, oh, you want my kid to go there for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week? Oh, so if you want anything good for your kid, you better be making some good money. The kid's small and cute for a little while. Like, my baby is just now growing out of being small. Oh, I'm sore all the time. She don't want to be put down ever. I'm not with the dad. The dad tried me a little while. I tried him. We just weren't compatible to an extent, and we realized, two happy, healthy homes is better than one toxic one. Cool. But now I have to give my child to a dude that I barely.
It's not just your child. She's not just your child. She's also the dad's child. And I think, this could probably be more challenging than I would ever be able to understand, because as a man, I can't, give birth. That's something that God has set aside for women to do. We help with giving life by, placing what we have on the egg of the woman. But I imagine it's challenging, to not take ownership or have some sort of sense of entitlement to the child, since it's the woman's responsibility, and that's just how life comes about, to carry the child. But it's y'all child. There's a sharing of this child. So
We're not even like, oh, we're not cool anymore. I barely know him anymore, if we're being honest. I have to give my child up to him for 3.5 days out of the week. My flesh of my flesh, the face, my face, walking around with this guy, and I don't get a say in it because I didn't make her by myself. I'm fortunate enough to not deal with court orders and whatever else, but oh, trust, if you want anything to go smoothly, you better go get you that court order. So now, not only do you have a kid that's growing, smelly, stinky, poopy, $1,300 down the drain, you attach to somebody you don't even really much know anymore, and your kid is huge. It's a grown up. Love my baby to death. She has all the best parts of me. I'm evolving. I'm being like a better person because of her. But I also just think it could have waited. I don't get to hang out. I don't get to hang out. Everybody just y'all wanna go hit the mall real quick? Real quick. It's gonna take me like an hour just to get myself, my child, our bags, water bottles, whatever, filled up just to go to the store. And she potty training on top of that. So I gotta make sure she pees before I leave the house. Need I remind you? She has 4C hair. 4C. The curliest curl that you can have. The coiliest curl. There goes another hour and a half to 2 hours on my Saturdays. If nobody ever told you this before, having a child is not going to increase your purpose. Having a child is not going to give you purpose. Having a child might help you to decide what is most important and to live and lead by example. However, you're still going to go through identity crises. You're still going to try to figure out, okay, what is it that I like? What is it that I like to wear? What is it that I like to hear? Your body's going to change. What is it that I like to eat? What are the things that I want to show my child? These are all the things that you don't think about. Keep that in mind and keep your protection.
Okay. All right. Firstly, let me say this. I thought, she shared some good nuggets that could be helpful for sure. Especially the part about, it's not going to increase your purpose. You're still going to go through the challenges of life, midlife crisis, still going to need to learn yourself and learn your body and learn how to feel loved and be content, all those things. She didn't say everything, but that's what she's saying. Now, the question I have is, most of the things she shared, if not all of it, we've known. Even as a man who, can't give birth to a child, I know these things exist. She talked about, the challenges of co-parenting. She talked about the cost. She talked about the child growing. She talked about, potty training, the inability to just move as quickly as you could if you didn't have a child. But now that you have a child, things are you have to consider a whole lot more. There's more responsibilities. All these things in some way, shape, or form, we hear, especially in our education system. I think it is challenged by way of culture and some of the things we see and hear through music, see on television. I remember Teen Mom, it was glamorized, So I think sometimes the message can get lost in the glamour. The message can get lost in the brokenness in a person's life, and they feel like the purpose of a child would help heal them. Like, so sometimes these truths about the challenges of being a young mother or having a child, like those things can get lost. And I even will go as far as to say this: you can want something so bad that you begin to ignore or not consider the challenges or how difficult it will be. So, I'm sure she means well, at least I hope she does, sharing, these things that she said, people don't talk about or tell you as a young mom. These are some of the main things I've heard even as a man to consider when, having a child, whether you're younger or older. So I know without a doubt most women are hearing these things. It's just, I believe we get lost, the message gets lost, or it's not as loud because we're either enjoying the pleasure of intimacy, we're believing in this person in ways that we shouldn't, and or we're too naive to see like, hey, this is not going to play out well, or we're trying to fix something in ourselves by way of having a child, or trying to hold on to a person by having a child. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. I think the hopeful thing is to understand that when life comes into the world, God's hand is all over it. And that child has a purpose. That child is created in the image and likeness of God. And so as a single mother, whether you're younger or older, you have a gift from God. And now you have a responsibility to steward this gift, to nurture the child. I don't want to call it it, but to nurture the child, to steward the child, to help them be law-abiding citizens. Even the Bible talks about how it's important to train up a child in the way that they should go. It talks about training up a child in the reverence and instruction of the Lord. Like, it's a blessing. There's still a hopeful component to being a single young mother or single young father, whatever it is, wherever you find yourself. But understand, there's nothing new under the sun. So listening to your peers and your elders and not ignoring them, not rejecting hard truths will help you avoid being in a situation to where you heard it, but you didn't listen. But either way, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I know there's so much conversation around having children, younger or older, the cost in this economy. So it's so much conversation we can have. Looking forward to reading your comments in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to connect with this brand, you can also connect with us online at www.there'shopebrand.com, where you can also get merch like the shirt I'm wearing. And also, if you'd like to donate to this brand and or ministry, you can do that. That information is in the description below, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.